Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my new setup. This is my first time filming in 2022 and my first time filming in this new setup. We've still got a ways to go. I'm trying to figure out sound and lighting and all of that stuff. There's construction outside, so I hope you'll forgive any interruptions or distractions in that way. I'm really excited for today's video because it's an empties video with a twist in that I'm going to reflect on my 2021 empties. I've tallied up how many products I finished, the value of all of the products I finished, and I want to take a look at what the trash that I've produced essentially tells me about myself and my beauty habits and my practices. Tracking empties for me is something that remains an exciting practice to me. It's something that teaches me about my own consumption habits, about the waste that I produce, and it also helps me give the best review of any product that I finish as I can. Generally, empties reviews tend to skew positively because if I've liked a product enough to finish it, it means I generally liked it, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it does take a little bit of struggle to work through something. So this is a video in two parts. The first part, I'm going to do a little bit of a year in review with my 2021 empties, and the second part of this video I will talk about my more recent empties and also share what I have replaced those products with. My wonderful friend Sandra here on YouTube does a great empties format in which she generally follows a 1 in, 1 out rule. I think I am a little bit more loosey-goosey than Sandra might be, but we do share a similar philosophy around our consumption practices and essentially resisting overconsumption and the kind of temptation to accumulate a lot of stuff without using it up. So the second part will be my empties and replacements. So in 2021, I had the goal of using up $5,000 worth of empties with my friend Kiana on Instagram. I will link her below. I realize that sounds like a lot of product. It is a lot of product. And I want to preface this by saying that I think there are several reasons why the value of my empties and the number of empties I produce is inflated. So basically, these empties include makeup, skincare, and body care that I use, but also products that I share with Sean. So I definitely think that inflates the number of products we finish a lot. I also think that if I were not a content creator and I were not receiving PR, the value of my empties would not be what it is. I certainly would not be buying as many high-end products as I finished this year. I wouldn't be going through trying to test products really quickly. And so I do think that changes my consumption practices. So in 2021, my totals look like this. I used up $5,201 worth of empties, and that includes 222 items. So I did pass the $5,000 worth of empties goal that I set with Kiana, and I used up way more product than I thought I would. So I want to do a bit of a breakdown of those 222 products, the $5,201 worth of empties, and kind of talk a little bit about which product categories I go through most quickly. I feel like this is interesting because it tells you a little bit about what your daily staples are, about where you should spend your money, and where you can maybe pull back on, everyday staples and items. If you have a guess about which category of product I went through the most in 2021, I'd love for you to pause the video and leave me a comment and tell me what kind of product you think I went through the most. And I'm going to tell you now, so pause the video and then come back. So this actually really surprised me. In 2021, the category of product that I used up the most was SPF. I used up 17 SPFs in 2021, which totally blew my mind. Granted, this number is inflated, like I said, because I do share some SPFs with Sean, and these include body and face SPFs. And I did spend a lot of time outside this last summer, and I live in Southern California, so I wear SPF every single day. Still, 17 is a really high number. And SPF is a category that I don't spend a ton of money on. I like to buy Asian and Japanese and Korean SPFs for my face that are generally under $20. And I also would say that my body SPFs are even cheaper than that. I don't like to spend a lot on SPF because I know it's a category that I go through very quickly. But even knowing that, 17 was like a very high number. The next category of product that I used up in second place is actually Tide. So there is a tie between conditioners and hair masks, which I counted together, lip balms and serums, face serums. So I used up 9 conditioners or hair masks, 9 lip balms, and 9 serums. Now, the hair masks I could have told you because I have a lot of hair. My hair is very thick and I don't wash my hair. I would say I wash my hair like twice a week, but when I do, I like to kind of drench my hair in hair mask and let it sit and really soak up the moisture. So that part didn't surprise me as much. I also go through conditioner and hair mask more quickly than I go through shampoo just because I need more of it. The lip balms, however, did really surprise me. I mean, I guess when I think about it, lip balm is very much a daily staple. It's something I use multiple times a day. I have one at my desk, I have one by my bedside, I have one in my car, I have one in my purse. It's just the kind of product that I always have on hand, and I'm very much dependent on lip balm. I also think because we're still wearing masks, I'm not using other lip categories as much. So within lip balms, I have a lot of tinted lip balms, I have lip masks, I have lip serums. Like, it's a category that encompasses all lip care. But that doesn't include like lipstick or anything like that. It's all lip treatment products. And then the 9 face serums, skincare serums, that includes both vitamin C as well as other kinds of serums. So I would say about half of those are vitamin C's, maybe more than half, maybe 4 to 5 of them are vitamin C serums, which I use in the morning every single day without fail. And then the other serums are treatment serums or hydrating serums, something like that. So I guess that makes sense to me that I would go through vitamin C relatively quickly and that a regular like non-vitamin C serum would last me a couple of months with regular use. Then I have 2 ties in third place, and I used up 7 mascaras and 7 shampoos. So this makes total sense to me. I think if you're using a mascara regularly, you should be replacing it every couple of months. I think I'm someone who goes through a lot of mascara because sometimes I'm layering mascara, I'm trying out different mascaras, I hang on to them probably longer than I should. So if I really let go of all of the mascaras that I should declutter, there's probably more than that. As for shampoo, that is shampoo that both Sean and I have used, and I think we go through it much more slowly than we do hair masks or conditioners. He does not shampoo his hair every single time he washes his hair. And I definitely use less shampoo than I do conditioners, which I think is normal. Personally, I think brands should have larger bottles of conditioner and smaller bottles of shampoo. And then in fourth place, I had a tie between 3 different categories. So I used up 6 cleansers, 6 body lotions, and 6 eye creams. So the cleanser category includes both first and second cleanses. So I had cleansing balms, cleansing oils, and then second cleansers. I guess that doesn't really surprise me because I cleanse my face both morning and night. So if we do the math, 6 cleansers over 12 months, it's like, in theory, a cleanser every 2 months, which I think is pretty normal for someone who washes their face morning and evening. In the body lotion category, that's also something that I share with Sean. I know we went through several tubs of CeraVe Moisture Cream. You'll see one in my empties coming up next. For us, it's just like a staple that we have on hand all the time. The eye creams surprised me. So 6 eye creams is kind of a lot. I mean, I guess I apply eye cream in the morning and in the evening. I also use my eye serums as well as eye creams, and sometimes I double them up. So I am someone who's pretty regular about my eye cream use, but I was still surprised. I thought if I would have guessed I had gone through like 3 or 4 eye creams, but I went through 6. So those 66 products that I just mentioned constitute my most used categories. And again, those are SPFs, hair masks, lip balms, serums, mascaras, shampoo, cleansers, body lotions, eye creams. So of all of the categories that I used up, it's interesting to me that the most used up categories are hair and body, and then it's skincare, and then it's makeup. And the makeup is just one category. It's just mascara. I wouldn't even count lip balm really as a true makeup category because I think most of the lip balms I used up were clear. They were not tinted and they were not what I would consider makeup products. So it's always interesting to think about, what are the kinds of products that are worth spending your money on, that you're gonna get a lot of use out of, and what are the products that are the everyday staples in your routine that you go through relatively quickly. And for me, I think having tracked my empties since 2019, I'm very aware of the fact that something like a regular unscented plain body lotion is not necessarily something that I need to spend a lot of money on because I am going to run through it really quickly. So these are my analyses of my 2021 empties. I do have a batch of the last of my 2021 empties, and I'm going to talk now about what I am replacing each empty with. I've got a big basket of empties in front of me. I'm just going to pick stuff up and talk about it because I haven't sorted it out. So first up is exactly what I was talking about. This is the CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. We repurchase this all the time. We go through one of these, I would say, every 2 months or so, and it's an absolute staple. Must have, affordable, can get it at the drugstore. It's amazing. Then I've got my Dove Advanced Care Deodorant. This is the scent Caring Coconut. I really love the coconut scent. I find that it smells nice without being too much of its own scent. It kind of becomes like my body scent, whereas some of the more floral or fruity scented deodorants are it's just too much for me. So I've repurchased this forever, but my current deodorant is the Necessaire deodorant in the scent Eucalyptus. So this is actually a gel deodorant. So it's the kind that you squeeze up. It has the little holes on top. And I think this contains acids. I don't know if it's glycolic or mandelic, but essentially it uses acids to help exfoliate the skin and also exfoliate, I don't know if it exfoliates like your sweat glands, but it's meant to help bring down body odor over time. To be honest, it's winter. I haven't been doing super hard workouts. I've been doing like yoga and Pilates, so I can't speak to this and how it will wear in the summer, but I will say you don't need a lot of it and it dries down quickly. It doesn't pill and it doesn't get sticky the way that some gel deodorants do. They actually have come out with an actual like a clear gel deodorant that I just got in the mail. I'm excited to try it and I'm going to test it. And they are making my discount code a permanent code. So you can get 10% off of the Necessaire website with the code Becca10. And I will put that in the description box as well. Getting into some skincare, I have the Indeed Labs Hydroluron Moisture Jelly. I loved this stuff. It's like it was a clear jelly, and this is one of those like pump up containers. And I love this kind of packaging because it makes sure that you can get every last drop of the product. But it is a gel moisturizer. It was hydrating without being sticky, and it was lightweight. It absorbed really quickly. For me, this is like perfect in the summer. In the winter, I might want to add another hydrating serum or hydrating SPF over it. But if you have oily to combo skin, this is like an amazing gel moisturizer. It's fragrance free. It's great for sensitive skin. Definitely worth checking out. My replacement for that is the Make Beauty Succulent Skin Gel Cream. I've spoken about this in my best of skincare, I think. This is a beautiful gel moisturizer, and this is the texture. It spreads out really quickly. I think it's actually just, it's not thicker, but it's a little bit more hydrating than the Indeed Labs one, but it still absorbs really quickly. It doesn't leave any kind of heaviness, any trace on the skin. Even though it's a gel cream, and I generally use gel creams in the summer, I like to have one on hand in the winter, especially if I'm having an oily day. I'll use a gel cream underneath like a hydrating SPF rather than a regular moisturizer. This is also unscented. It just leaves the skin feeling really refreshed and soft, but it doesn't leave any heaviness behind, which is the whole point of using a gel moisturizer. Then I've got the I'm From Rice Toner. I love this stuff. I just talked about this in my best skincare of 2021 video. It is beautiful, it's hydrating, it sinks in quickly. I love all of the I'm From hydrating products. Their toners, their essences, they're all amazing. I've replaced it with something I love even better for winter. This is the Make Beauty Micro Ferment Rice Essence. I also spoke about this in that same video. This is definitely a richer, bouncier texture. It's much less of a fluid, watery texture than it is almost like a liquefied gel. So it has a real bounciness to it, and it absorbs quickly, not as quickly as like a watery texture, and it seems to leave behind almost a similar finish as like a gel moisturizer. It makes your skin feel plumped up and bouncy and juicy. Then I've got two vitamin C's here, one affordable and one mid-range. So this is the Timeless 20% vitamin C with ferulic acid and vitamin E. This is a great around $20 vitamin C serum. I think at that price point, no one does it better. This is super effective. It's great. Paula's Choice C15 is my favorite vitamin C serum. This is a 15% L-ascorbic acid, vitamin E with ferulic acid. So these are both L-ascorbic acid vitamin Cs, which is my preferred form of vitamin C. I do think that C15 is a bit more watery and it sinks in a bit more quickly without leaving any tackiness. I do find that with the Timeless, it's just like a hair oilier, not actually oily, but just a little bit more viscous, ever so slightly, than the Paula's Choice. But honestly, I do use these interchangeably, and if I'm out of C15, I'll happily use Timeless and vice versa. At the moment, I have another C15 open that has replaced these two. Then I've got the Kate Somerville Lifting Eye Cream. I loved this stuff. It's very expensive. It's like $120. I did feel like it depuffed my eye area, and that depuffing quality made my eyes look more awake. But I have replaced that with the SkinCeuticals AGE Eye Complex, and I think I like the texture of this even more than the Kate Ceuticals one. I don't know if it's as depuffing. I have other eye products that I use for that, but I really love the texture of this. It's kind of like an eye balm. It has like, it's hard in the pan, but then you scoop it out and you melt it between your fingers, and it just melts into this like beautiful, creamy, rich, but not overly occlusive or like greasy formula that just sinks into the eyes. It's so lovely, and it's one of those eye formulas that I feel like I can wear during the day under makeup, but I can also wear at night, and I feel like it gives me that plumped up, really smooth and softened look. And then I've got the Urang Cica Soothing Ampule, and this is really lovely. It was kind of like a watery, like hydrating serum with Centella Asiatica and madecassoside. It was very soothing for the skin, and that's what it's designed to do, is hydrate and calm and soothe the skin. This would be a great option for sensitive skin as well. My current soothing, calming serum is the SkinCeuticals Phytocorrective Gel. These are quite different. I would not necessarily say they're comparable, but I use them in the same way. So the Phytocorrective Gel contains botanicals. It's also hydrating. And it especially takes down redness. So if you have like rosacea or sensitized skin, or if you're using a lot of actives, retinoids, etc., this is a really nice addition. You really only need 1 to 2 drops of this. I find it's very spreadable. It's a little bit more of a gel texture, hence the name, than the ampule was. The ampule was a little bit more watery and kind of fluid, but I use these both in the same step and in the same way in my skincare routines. Then I've got a couple of things for lashes. So the first is the Peri Para Ink Mascara Fixer. I use this under every mascara. If you struggle with your lashes dropping a curl or smudging or just not looking very good, you need this. It's amazing, it's very affordable, and it holds my curls up all day. It looks like I've applied my mascara fresh like all day long. And I'm already using a replacement of this in my makeup bag right now. For mascara, I have perhaps a controversial item. This is the Maybelline Sky High Mascara, and I did not like this. I was so shocked because it was such a sensation on TikTok months ago, and people seem to really love it. It has this like flexible wand. I did like the wand being so flexible. I think you can see like it helps you get in the corners of your lashes. I purchased this with such high expectations, and for me, it dropped a curl. It clumped together. It didn't really build on itself for me very well, and I just didn't love it. I also bought this because I was under the impression that it was a tubing mascara, and I don't know if it is. I heard a lot of people say this is a new tubing mascara, but it did not behave to me like a tubing mascara at all. Tubing mascaras come off really easily with water. The fibers create little tubes around your natural lashes, they dry, and then they come off really easily with warm water in little tubes. This did not do that. This was very hard to get off, even with a micellar water and a cleansing balm or a cleansing oil. It just didn't do it for me. So I'm sad to report that this did not work, but I used it for a couple weeks and then I ended up decluttering it because it just disappointed me. Its replacement, I have several mascaras open, but the latest that I've opened is the Merit Mascara. I think this is called the Clean Mascara, and this is a tubing formula. This is definitely a natural lash mascara. This is not going to be your voluminous, batty lash kind of look, but I think it's nice so far. It's an everyday mascara. It's not too overwhelming. It's buildable. Jury's out because I just opened it like last week, and I feel like mascaras are really at their prime like 2 or 3 weeks after you open them and they've dried out a little bit. So full review to come. Oh, and this is what the wand looks like. It's a pretty straightforward brush applicator. I do wish the applicator were a little bit shorter. It's a little bit big for my eye shape, but I like it so far. Then I've got the Flora and Bast Barrier Building Hydrosol. I actually don't know what's in here that makes it barrier building. I know that this contains CBD. Flora and Bast is a CBD based skincare range. But I really liked it. I liked the formula. I found it to be hydrating. It was nice between steps. The one thing I didn't love was the mister. I found that it did leave big droplets on my face. It didn't bother me that much because this was very much a skincare product and not like a makeup setting mist. I'm much pickier about those. But I really liked it. I do feel like because the mister was so generous, I went through this really quickly, but I did really enjoy it. I found it hydrating. It did seem to calm my skin, and I enjoyed that. Its replacement right now is the Chantecaille Pure Rose Water. These have very different ingredients. This has, I don't even really know what's in here. CBD, hydrating ingredients. This is rose water, and it does smell like roses. I don't necessarily love the scent of roses, but it's so light, and a mist is so lightweight anyway, it like fades away like that. So it doesn't really bother me. I like the mister component on this a lot. It's super fine. I think you can see, well, you probably can't see, but it is a super fine mister. It's the kind of mist that I would use over makeup because It is so fine and even. It's very expensive. It's Chantecaille skincare. If I were to buy Chantecaille skincare with my own money, I probably wouldn't buy a mist with that money. I'd probably go for a serum or one of their creams. But I did receive this in PR. It's very lovely and it feels kind of like an indulgence. And the last item is the Nivea Sun Super Water Gel SPF 50. This is for PA 3+. This is not waterproof and it does contain alcohol. It's more of like a quick dry down, and I really love this, especially if you have oily to combo skin. Currently, I'm using another favorite, which is the Isntree Hyaluronic Watery Sun Gel. This is an SPF 50 plus with PA 4+. This does not contain alcohol. These are both chemical SPFs. They're both hydrating, but the Isntree one is definitely more hydrating. It leaves me with a dewier finish. And it's something that I especially love in the winter when my skin is combo, but more dehydrated because of the cool weather. These both use advanced chemical filters. They're both Asian SPFs. This is Japanese, this is Korean, but they both use SPFs that are not in US sunscreens, and they're just my favorite kinds to use. I find that they give the best protection with no white cast. They're hydrating, they're just easy to use. For me, the user experience of SPF has to be good in order for me to want to use it every day. In fact, in order to go through 17 bottles of it in a year, and these two really hit the mark for under $20. I get mine on YesStyle. I will link them below in the description box. So that is everything that rounds out my 2021 empties. $5,201 of empties with 222 items. So I will be tracking my empties again this year. I have already emptied a couple of products. I would love to hear if you track your empties. I've received some really great messages throughout the years of people DMing me on Instagram and YouTube who tell me that they've started tracking their own empties. I feel like it's a nice way to not only learn about your own practices, but also to think more intentionally about our consumption, about the waste that we produce, and about being part of a society and a collective that inhabits this earth and produces waste, and to be really thoughtful and intentional about how we engage that. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!